Hello and welcome to this FPL Double Game Week 29 transfer plans video with me, Holly Shand. We've got 12 teams with a double game week. It's going to be a big week for the chips, including from myself. Let's get into it. Starting off with how my blank game week 28 ended up. I finished on 50 points and a small green arrow, so I should be happy, but going with Captain Kane over Saka was a painful one. I got a little bit of regret there. It did seem like a close call prior to the game week, but you know, Saka to get 18, Kane only 6. I lost out on 12 points there, which, you know, could have been big for my overall rank. My transfer in, Ollie Watkins delivered an assist. It was a bit slim pickings elsewhere though in terms of attacking returns. But it's a game week that we survived and we need to look on to more exciting things. So I'm arriving at double game week 29 with one free transfer, 6.7 million in the bank, having sold Haaland last week. Lots of potential transfer plans, but I do need to keep in the back of my mind, I need a route back to Haaland in game week 30. As things stand, I have 11 players with a double game week, 4 with a single game week, including Harry Kane and my triple Arsenal of Saka, Odegaard and Gabriel. Now, the difficulty here is deciding exactly what to do in terms of transfers, how many more double game week players to bring in. I am a little bit reluctant to let go of my Arsenal players, but I have to look at the schedule as well for them. And after this week, they face Liverpool away, West Ham away, then in game week 32, it's probably going to be a free hit week for me now. And then game week 33, City away. 34, it's Chelsea at home. 35, Newcastle away. So even though Arsenal haven't got any other cup competitions to concentrate on now, it's all about the Premier League. There is some really difficult fixtures in there. So do I want to be triple up on Arsenal assets for this period, or can I consider letting some of them go? I think Saka, given his performance in game week 28, is a hold, but Odegaard and Gabriel, for that matter, are both on the chopping block, particularly because that attacking return that we were waiting so long for Gabriel to get, he actually got it. So they're the players that I'm looking to sell this week in order to bolster my squad for the bench boost. When it comes to chip strategy then, I've got 2 chips left, the bench boost chip and the free hit chip, and we now know that blank game week 32 will be a blank for Manchester City, Manchester United, Brighton and Chelsea, and they are teams that I'm fairly heavily invested in. So I am very much leaning towards playing the free hit in game week 32. I think a lot of managers will be doing the same. We should get some news over the next few weeks about where the other blanks and doubles should land in terms of the fixtures still to be rescheduled. So hopefully we get some clarity there, particularly because Newcastle assets and Brighton assets definitely have an additional game in hand that could be rescheduled very soon. So I am leaning towards the bench boost in 29. I had that in mind when I played the wildcard in 26. I'm still on that, but I would like to get some more double game week players in. And it's Manchester United who I'm looking to, because I feel like they have the pick of the fixtures in game week 29 with games against Newcastle and Brentford. They're the team that I'm really wanting to look to be bringing in. The only downside is that suspension to Casemiro does damage their potential both in defence and in attack, but I'm willing to go for it anyway. So I think Gabriel to Luke Shaw could be a transfer that pays off for me this week. And the other move that I'm looking to make is Odegaard out for Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is a bit of a, you know, go-to asset for double game weeks. He's really delivered in his whole time in FPL of getting hauls in those double game weeks. So as a player, I don't really want to go without this week. Now, the other player that I could look to rather than one of those two is Chelsea's Ben Chilwell, who's got a goal and an assist in recent games. But there's always that threat of rotation for Chelsea, particularly with their involvement still in the Champions League. And the other thing to bear in mind is we're not seeing enough consistency from their defence right now to make me want to double up. I've already got Kepa. That's why I'm leaning towards the Manchester United assets. Now, I do need to keep in mind in making these moves, I am making my route back to Haaland more difficult. It is going to take 2 moves rather than 1. Obviously, Ivan Toney has avoided suspension so far, but another yellow card in either one of his double game week 29 fixtures will mean that he would miss game week 30. So I think regardless of that, especially with those FA charges and a suspension pending for that as well, I think Tony out is going to be my route back to Haaland. But as things currently stand, I'd be 0.3 million off making that direct transfer. So I'd probably have to take another -4 in game week 30 to get Haaland back in. And in terms of the cash cow, probably Ben Mee in my defence, with Brentford's double game weeks over and done with, would be the route back to Haaland and making a defensive switch, potentially for another Newcastle defender if Newcastle do have a double game week coming up between now and blank game week 32. So that's what I need to bear in mind. But obviously a lot can change over the international break. We've not got any Premier League games for another 10 days or more, so we've got to kind of bide our time. I'm not going to be making any changes yet, and I suggest that everyone else tries to hang on to their transfers for as long as possible, unless they've only got the exact funds and would be priced out. If you have got any dilemmas, do get in the comments. I'll do my best to answer all of them within 24 hours of this video live. Help me get to 500 likes on this video as well, and enjoy the international break. I'll be back very soon with another video.